it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am back with another project for Memory Lane Scrapbook Store. And I am playing with the Wild Heart collection from Crepe Paper today. And so Memory Lane is just an online scrapbooking supply store. It's a smaller little store out of California, but they have a great selection of the newer collections and some unique products and things. So I would definitely encourage you to stop by and check out Memory Lane Scrapbook. You can use the code SECRET20 for a discount in the shop. And so I have some of the ephemera pack left over. So you see me kind of playing here. I've got a couple of frames, a tag, that kind of gold iridescent palm frond leaf. I had, remember that little half of the View Master that I had used on a different project? So I have half of that left to use on this one. And so I'm just kind of trying to layer things up. So I have grabbed a 12 by 12 background paper, and this is a Maggie Holmes paper that has been in my stash. And so if you follow my channel or, some other YouTubers' channels, you know that we are doing a Kill-A-Kit challenge over the summer. So we are building a stash kit each month during the summer and then challenging ourselves to use up some of the things from our stash. And so this particular paper is from my Kill-A-Kit for July. And so I'm going to grab here my 6x8 Wild Heart paper pad, and I'm just tearing strips out of 3 different colors. So I've got this kind of brown leather paper, and then I have the really dark green tropical leaves, and then the one with the triangles it's like a white paper with gold triangle detail. And all I'm going to do is layer up those 3 strips that I tore, and they're going to create a border on the left-hand side of my photo for everything to kind of live on. So it's going to be the anchor for all of the embellishing and things that I do. And it ends up, as the layout progresses, that you don't see a ton of it. And I'm okay with that because you do see the detail, you can see the torn edges, and it has kind of all the details of my layout around it. So once I get that tucked in, and I'm trying to tuck in all my layers, I'm deciding that I need to finally glue something down. And I love how this particular collection, all the ephemera and all the little bits and pieces work perfectly with this background paper from Maggie Holmes. So I love being able to take something that's new to my stash and combine it with something that is older and kind of bring new life to it. And this is a pattern paper that I absolutely loved. I'm just amazed by how well it coordinates with this particular collection. So I am going to go ahead and cut my frame on the diagonal there so I can use just a piece of it in this embellishment cluster around the bottom of my photo. And so you will notice I'm kind of creating like an L design. So I have embellishments that are going to be centered all the way from the top left down to the bottom left and then across the bottom of the photo. And so it's creating an L with all of my embellishments. So I'm working really hard as I'm going through my process to keep everything contained within that L shape. So I don't want to have random floating embellishments. I'm keeping everything kind of as centralized to that layout scheme as I possibly can. And so now I'm grabbing the sticker sheet that came in this collection. It's just the 6x12 Wild Heart sticker sheet. And it has a few of these little palm frond details. So I'm going to add a green one up here on top of my photo. And then I'm going to take the second green one and add it in that embellishment cluster on the bottom. So I'm trying to make sure that if I'm making changes to the top embellishment cluster, then I'm making a similar change to the bottom embellishment cluster. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull out these stickers. And this is kind of this coppery glitter color. And I start out thinking I'm going to use the word fun down along the bottom edge of this tag and frame, and that's going to be my title. And so I put that down, and I actually really like it. But then I go back inside this little 3-box frame. I know I want to put this phrase that says sun plus fun. And so I'm going to get that into that first box. So I'm going to do the sun and then the fun, and then I'm going to add in the little plus sign to where it fits and looks like it's nestled in kind of like it belongs there. So it's not going to be centered, it's going to be off to the side. And so that's when I decide, wait a minute, I don't need the word fun twice. I don't need that same thing. So I'm trying to decide if I want to use the word chill or if I want to use favorite. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with favorite, but then I decide to trim it off just to make sure that it's going to fit okay in that space. because this is where I'm being very intentional with wanting to keep everything in that L shape around my photo. So I don't want to use this huge title that's going to extend off both sides and create kind of a disjointed look. So I just went ahead and trimmed it right off of the sticker background sheet just to make sure lengthwise and size-wise that it was going to work in this space. And I actually think it works better in this space than the word fun, since the word fun was so short. And this seems to just fit perfectly. So I do have it kind of on a little bit of a diagonal, just like I have that 3-frame die cut on a little bit of a diagonal. So then I'm going back to my sticker sheet to see if there's anything else on there that I want to add, and I find this little phrase that says there's nothing better. So because we have some words in our bottom cluster, now I'm looking at some words for the top cluster, and then I'm going to add a couple of these little glitter foam hearts up there because I'm wanting to carry that element over as well. So you can see I've kind of got this visual triangle going around my layout to where all of those glitter foam thickers are located, so that it's creating kind of a flow, like a circular flow, with my photo being the center of attention in the middle. So then I added another little phrase up there in the top that says happy life, and I'm going to pop in these little yellow sunglasses. And I like that little pop of yellow because behind my daughter in the photo, there's a little bit of like yellowish light you can see. And then there's a tiny bit of yellow that comes through in this pattern paper over on that left-hand side where the pink and the green meet. So adding in that little pop of yellow kind of tied all of those tiny little yellow elements together without being overwhelming. So I really like kind of adding that little tiny touch of yellow. And then I've got that little tiny heart that I just added in that same cluster at the bottom. I added a little kind of vine like sticker up there in the top cluster. So I'm just making sure that everything, all my clusters are balanced and that there's good flow around my photo. So my photo still gets to be the star of the show, but all my embellishments kind of work to draw your attention to that particular part of the layout. And everything kind of maintains that L shape the way I want it to. I am going to add just this little pop of a pink tag. Not very much of it is going to show, and I thought about adding a phrase sticker on top of it and ended up not liking how that looked. But I just wanted something to break up the green pattern paper background from that green tag that I was using. And so adding in that little tiny label sticker gave me just enough of a break to where it kind of pulled some of the pink down from the top of the layout to the bottom, and then it breaks up the tag and the background paper so that they don't kind of disappear into each other. And that's basically going to do it for this layout. So definitely stop by and check out Memory Lane Scrapbook Store. Use the code SECRET20 for a discount in the shop. And make sure that you tag me if you are playing with this Wild Heart collection, because I would love to see what you are making, because I'm absolutely loving playing with this particular collection. I'll see you soon. Bye!